Good with it, it's your boy Samad Savage from Montclair, New Jersey, and you are now watching Brick by Brick Behind the Creator.
And welcome back, man. Brick by Brick Behind the Creator. I'm sitting here with Samad Savage, charted number 5 on iTunes. Check him out. 1.9 million streams, 300,000 listeners, 153 countries, and I could just keep going on the accolades that I saw. Happy to be sitting here with you, man. Before we begin, man, you want to just say what's up to the people, man, and just...
What's going on out there? It's good with it. Make sure y'all drink some water. Make sure if you haven't took a shower yet, you go take a shower, wash off the negative energy, and get some fresh air.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You want to tell the people where you're from real quick?
Yeah, Montclair, New Jersey, home of Outlaws.
Nice. Okay. Just curious to know a little bit about, how you came into music, and how this happened. Not everybody's as lucky as, a lot of these other rappers we see coming to the game that has to kind of give it to them. I don't want to say no names, Lil Romeo, Lil Bow Wow, but at the end of the day, I'm just real curious to know what kind of led you into this craft.
Well, first of all, shout out my auntie Halima. She brought FL Studios to my brother Aziz, my older brother. And that was at my pop's house. I wasn't there much during my childhood, but whenever I did go, I just was head down in that computer learning everything about FL Studios. I found it fun. It was like a video game to me. And then from that, eventually my grandmother let me borrow her laptop. Borrow became me owning a laptop because I was on FL Studios on the time on there. And then I eventually broke the laptop with LimeWire and a little bit of porn. Sorry, Dana. But yeah, that's how I got into it.
So FL Studios, that's to make beats, right?
Yeah, I wrote my first rap though when I was about like 10 years old. It was really trash, so I'm not gonna rap it now.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rock Lord from I think he's from EO. He had me rap one of my first raps in the studio session as the chorus on his song. It was so trash, he still let me do that. So thankful to him for that, just to get that experience.
So you produce too as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you know how to make your own beats and everything? I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, 80% of the production on my last album was.
Oh wow. Okay. So how does that process work for you? Just being, the musician and the producer. How is that creative process going for you as far as getting it flowing? Like, who's inspiring you? When you're in the studio. Because now you have to work on both sides of the fence, right?
Yeah.
So how does that go?
Well, I feel like I'm a great producer, I'm a great rapper, but it's hard to do both at the same time sometimes. Like, I feel like I've made great music on my last album.
Word.
But I would like to pull away from the production side a little bit just so I can really focus on perfecting the rap side of things.
That's interesting. So just like any advice that you would give to the younger generation, would you say, what's more important? You want to be on the engineer producer side of things, or should you be on the rapper side of things?
It depends on your goals. If you love money, stick to production and engineering. Because there's not much money in rap. But if you're passionate about this culture and whatnot, and you plan on having a career with longevity, you don't plan to just go viral once and then be out. Focus on the rap and perfect your craft. Be better than everybody in the world, because you can be.
How did you discover your unique sound? I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm more curious to know, who did you study? Like, what artists did you really find yourself in tune with coming up that you said, what, I like that, and now you see that in yourself when you're making music?
I usually say this to other people. Like, when they ask me how do they find their own sound, I say pick like 5 of your favorite artists in that genre, and then match them all together within yourself, pause, and become that. And I feel like I did that growing up. I listened to a lot of DMX, Jay-Z, Busta Rhymes, Eminem, Common, Lupe Fiasco, and I feel like all of those artists are within me. Pause.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you, but I've been listening to music and just hearing that. We talked a little bit prior about you being able to produce. I noticed that you got a little bit of switch up when you rap, right? You can kind of like have a little bit of a melodic flow, or you can just kind of spit lyrics, right?
Yeah.
Which one came first for you? And more importantly, how did you go about developing, into the different side of things, right? Like, how did you go about being able to switch up and sing on the track, or how did you go about being able to switch up and write a Me 16 on the track and drop some bars on people.
Well, thank you to all of the legends like Fonte, Drake, Kanye, Bone Thugs and Harmony, all of the people who added melody into their raps prior to me, because I didn't really feel like it was possible. I've always said that if I could really sing like Usher, I would probably not be rapping.
Right.
That's another way to evoke emotion and help people feel. And I feel like the number one issue with music today is it lacks feeling, and it doesn't make you feel something.
Right.
It's hard to do that through lyrics sometimes. I think Jay-Z has perfected it. Nas has perfected it. But there's not many rappers that can just say something and make you feel something. The need to make people feel is what made me feel like I have to learn how to sing, or I have to at least learn how to be a really, really good engineer.
Right.
So that's when I started getting into to not just auto-tune, but pitch flex and whatnot, and different programs to help you like get the notes where you need it to go, so I can evoke more emotion.
Yeah, no, so, and I heard you touch on that. You say like, a lot of rappers have mastered that. Jay-Z,
Yeah.
especially Drake. Drake definitely mastered that. So how do you go about, trying to figure out how to master that and navigate through your emotions when you're making music? What's been inspiring you lately the most? And what has inspired you from your first project?
Honestly, other genres.
Yeah?
Other genres. I don't know if I've said this before publicly, but Duo Litty I'm making all the music that I enjoy. Like I made stuff. This is the first album that I really feel like I wasn't trying to make anything for anyone else. I just made every single genre, every single style of music that I enjoy currently. I listen to rap for like lyrical content and to exercise my brain, but I listen to other genres when it comes to the melodic and musical side of things.
Who do you deep dive into like right now? Like that's outside of hip hop that you're kind of like, what? I like them.
I just started listening to Samara Joy this morning.
Okay.
My goodness, she is like, I initially only heard a couple of seconds of her singing.
Yeah.
And then I said, nah, I need to like listen to this album. And her most recent album that came out last year was just so good. She's so soulful.
Yeah.
Remember what I was talking about earlier about like feeling?
Yeah.
The second you hear her voice, you feel something. It feels a little bit like Nina Simone, but she still got her own swag to it and whatnot. Her voice isn't necessarily as deep, but she's 22, and when she sing, it sounds like a grandmother, like like the soul of a grandmother. Yeah, it's so dope, man.
Yeah, so I know you've been at the music thing for a minute. I told you I was doing a little bit of research on you, so I went back into the archive. I found 16. At 16, I think it's called 16.
Yeah, 16.
Yo, man, I really like that, man.
Thank you.
You killed the oldest track. You had some tracks on here, and I'm like, yo, man, he had a flow. This a youngin', man. He been getting to it. Yeah. So, what's different about that right now? Like, if you look back at that and you look at your younger self, they always say hindsight is 50-50, right?
Yeah.
So you look back at your younger self, and then I don't want to even always take you all the way to Duo Litty right now. I want to look at your first real project where you sat down and you had to really like kind of put the business side of it together. What's the difference looking back, and what would you tell your younger self about how to navigate in the industry to get to a point where you're actually publishing music with that's copyrighted, you legally have it written down and it's straight, everything's by the book. So how would you go about doing that, and what's the difference, between now and then?
I mean, the difference back then is just like, if we're talking about content wise, I was a lot more ignorant, and not in the way that people would think ignorant. Like, I wasn't like, talking that, rah and whatnot. Yeah. But I was just speaking whatever was on my mind without even really thinking. I was just saying shit. Like, there was one point where I even made like, not a whole diss song, but I had a diss bar to Chief Keef.
Right.
Like back when I was like 16, and he only, I think a year older than me.
Yeah.
And I made a diss to him because I felt like he was misleading the youth and shit. But I'm like, bro, I'm not holding any of these older artists accountable. I don't know Chief Keef. I don't know anything about where he comes from or anything like that. I just immediately judged him. I didn't give him a fair shot, and that was fucked up.
Right.
I also prejudged Post Malone as a culture vulture and whatnot, saying we don't need him. We only need, I think I said, Eminem, Mac Miller, and somebody else. And that's not right. That dude is an artist. He's a real musician.
Word.
So I would just tell myself, like, don't burn bridges that aren't even built yet, and also just be mindful that you might not feel the same way a couple of years after this.
Right.
From the business perspective, I felt like I learned everything at the pace I needed to learn it. I haven't done anything that's left me necessarily screwed over. So I don't know if I would give advice. I feel like I learned it at a good pace.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Image. I kind of heard you talking about that, and you kind of go ahead, bro.
I would tell myself to invest in Bitcoin.
That's real, right? I mean, that hindsight to be 100, I'll be on top of that. But I heard you talk about, you know, Chief Keef and his image, and we're not going to really talk about where you were in life. But I just kind of wanted to more so talk about the marketing and social media and the presentation.
Yeah.
And how you go about that yourself as an artist and presenting yourself and understanding how that affects you from a business standpoint. What is your views on that? Sometimes if you're not a rapper who's, I guess, a gangster rapper, you don't want to be presenting yourself as a gangster rapper.
Yeah.
And if you're not this, you don't want to be doing that because that's not who you are.
Yeah.
That's not your true emotion. So how do you think that comes into play as far as you and your image and how you present yourself?
I mean, I give myself, or there's things that people still don't know about me, personal things that I'm not ready to feel yet. But for the most part, who I am, who I perceive myself to be, is what I give to the internet. And then like-minded people come along. This world is like too vast and too big for me to not be myself, find people who think like me, instead of trying to adjust the way I think to how, you know, whatever's popular, you know?
Right.
So, yeah.
I think like that stops a lot of people from making music too. That holds a lot of people back because they care what people think. And, you know, a lot of people who come up and they want to make music, they don't drop.
But even besides music, that holds people back in general.
That's real.
Like, if you kids in I was going to say high school, in school in general, who go to school like, you gotta get these kicks because if I had these kicks and da da da, and then not realizing, like, as somebody who's graduated from high school and it's been, I think, like 7 years now, none of that made any difference in my life today. I would have saved so much more money. I would have not focused on anybody. I wouldn't focus on any of them girls.
Right.
Actually, I would have focused on one girl because my wife actually went to high school with me. But
Right.
that also could have fumbled the bag because I was a little lame back. But yeah, man, it none of that matters. Everything is superficial. Just be yourself, and people who are real will be attracted to that.
I feel like me and you have that in common, man. I preach that all the time. I be talking to Meek all the time, and we be having conversations about just, you know, life and, you know, social economics and just breaking all that shit down and just saying that, you know what, man, when it really boils down to it, man, you just got to be a good person. A lot of this shit really doesn't matter, man. That's really what's cool. Being smart is cool, like, you know, it's all that stuff, and a lot of people are not really for that yet. And more importantly, you know, after you dropped 16 for 16, I think your next project was Gray Area.
Yeah.
And, you know, I said this a lot of times, that was probably like one of my favorite projects. I don't know why, man. I heard Winter, I was really rocking with it. And, you know, I heard another song on there. I don't want to mess up the name of the song, but was it Progress?
Yeah, that wasn't.
I was bumping that one. I didn't want to mess it up, but that was one of my favorite ones.
There's a lot of pain in that album.
I know, man.
Yeah.
Yo.
Shout out to Joe Budden, because he's the one who completely changed what that album was going to be. I met him and he let me show him some of my music. He was like, "Oh, this is all good, but I feel like I don't know anything about you." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Who? Like, what is there for people to relate to? Like, there's no you. Have you ever been through anything?"
Right.
And I was just like, yo, I've been through so much, and I just never decided to talk about it because I was like, you don't give a fuck about that. But I took heed to his word, and that album has, like, I mean, I don't want to take credit for it, but some people have told me that the album has, like, saved their life or has changed their life or had, you know, strong effects on people. And knowing that is just, like, what makes me continue to be as raw and authentic as possible. Just always give the real me. Because I'm happy that I didn't just create a character for somebody to relate to. And I know, like, yo, I'm happy that it did something for you, but that's not even me. Like, nah, I could never say that.
Right.
You know?
Right. So speaking on that, just social media, right? Being able to project and present yourself as an artist and a rapper and just be true to yourself. How does that reflect, right, for you? Like using your social media platforms, like you've been making music since, you know, way before 2016, you said, right? Being able to see the different platforms come out, TikTok and all this other stuff that you have to, you know, you don't, it's up to you, but that you feel like you have to keep up with just to stay relevant, right? So how does that play a part, you know, in your day-to-day as a rapper, and how do you navigate through that?
I mean, some things is not for everybody. Like TikTok, I'm on there, but I utilize it as a tool. I'm not on there like as a social media, I guess.
Right.
I just look at it as like, all right, another place to gather, you know, some people who are like-minded. But as much as I'm on there, there's another artist who could be like, yo, fuck TikTok. I don't like any of that. you know, young people stuff and da da da. And there will be a bunch of people on Facebook who may agree with that, and then they may get fans from like-minded individuals. Again, so I don't think my opinion matters too much on TikTok and where social media is going and catching trends and whatnot, because it depends on the person.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. How do you formalize a fan base? Because I see that you're very open with your fan base. You guys have a good connection. I see that, like, you know, you have no problem jumping on a live or anything, speaking with your fan base. You know, how long did it take you to develop that fan base that you have? You call them fam, like, and that's pretty deep. Like, that's pretty deep.
Yeah, I don't really like to call them fans like that.
I'm sorry, is this something that happened overnight? Like, was it with your first tape? Or was it like, you know, 6 months?
Oh, nah, it took forever. It took forever to get where I'm at right now. It took forever to get to a place where I can be independent and only have about 25,000 followers. I mean, I think 26 or 7,000 followers now on Instagram. And I'm able to still chart number 5 on iTunes. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? It took a while for me to have more followers on Spotify than I have on any other social media.
That's crazy.
Like, that's the support and undying love that I'm talking about that you get when you are yourself completely, and then you take the time. I could have followed so many trends, yo.
I know.
I could have made a Whippin' Nay Nay song. I could have done anything, but I just didn't do any of that. And yeah, maybe I'm not as famous as I could have been, but the foundation that I have is so secure. It's so worth it, you know. Okay. I have people that will. I don't ever want them to, you know, do anything that put them in harm's way, but they'll like put themselves in harm's way for me because I dedicated my art to letting them know they're not alone.
So just continuing forward, after Gray Area, you dropped that, and I really did like that, and I consider that, I guess you also consider that one of your first put together projects.
Yeah.
After that, you know, you dropped your next album. Are you signed at this point, or did you have a label at that point?
Nah, never had a label. I had a couple of managers that I didn't have any like big falling outs with anybody who was managing me for a period. It's just that I'm so used to running everything by myself that I don't know how to really let anybody in. You know what I'm saying? Having management is kind of like having a relationship.
Right.
And if you don't know how to let somebody into your world and help you with your stuff, that's always going to be very like bad on the relationship.
Right.
So yeah, there's that. So yeah, no management, no independent, no labels.
Do you plan on that? I know we just talked about social media, but I know when you get the management, you know, you get to push yourself into different spaces and different areas.
I do plan on it. I'm not anti-management at all. I used to say I need a manager that can outwork me, but it's not even that. I just need a manager that I can like chill with and have a friendship with. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking for any of my friends to necessarily manage me.
Right.
But I would like to have what like Eminem and Paul Rosenberg have. You know what I'm saying? Like they joke around and they're just around each other and it's fine and whatnot. I'm sure they've argued about some things and get on each other's nerves sometimes. But at the end of the day, they have some kind of brotherhood. That's what I care about.
Right.
You know? And even if it's a woman that manages me, because I get along with women better. What's the word for like siblinghood, I guess? Yeah. Just that closeness, you know?
Interesting. Okay, so we're right there. We're in that part of the process, and then we get to your next album, or your next project, right? Trust the Weird Kids, right?
Yeah.
Like the album, it's different. Where were you at that point in your career? What inspired you?
Well, I mean, the album is called Trust the Weird Kids, so I felt like I had to be very authentically weird with everything that I said.
Yeah.
But I also had to make it sound as cool as possible.
Was that a challenge?
That was a big challenge. Because I'm still weird, don't get me wrong, but I was a lot weirder back then, and I had to tap into that like inner child of myself. Yeah. Like I made that album for my past self. I made the album that I felt like if Zed's Clarity, that's a EDM artist, Zed, he made this album called Clarity. I'm pretty sure that album like saved my life. Yeah. I was like going through it at one point, and I heard that album, and I was like, bro, it just changed everything for me. I felt like if I would have heard Trust the Weird Kids at that time, it would have been that album.
I always find peace in albums like that, man. I got a few albums that's in my catalog that I felt like touched me. I ain't gonna say the names, but they're like, oh, that's why he act like that? Oh, I knew he had Chief Keef in that catalog, so I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna go too deep.
Say at least one. I'm interested.
I'm trying to think. I would have to say the Clips, Lord's Willing. That's probably one of my classics, man. My brother broke me up in that album.
Damn.
Yo, that was one of the first.
Yeah, that's a classic.
I remember, you know, I'm gonna leave it at. I brought for Christmas. I wanted that Bow Wow album It was this one with the shit where he was Harlem shaking. It was like the GOAT Bow Wow representing. I had got that shit, man, but I ain't gonna go too much, man. My brother made fun of me for weeks.
I mean, yeah, Bow Wow was like, it felt like a gimmick at the time, but people don't understand. Bow Wow is the reason that everybody really wanted to be a rapper at one point.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he can do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't really cool to be a rapper.
Him and Lil Romeo, they kind of did it.
Romeo too.
They kind of did it. So, you're still independent, you're still pushing your music by yourself, but then you drop Duo Litty, right? And then you chart number 5, and you're seeing all this type of, you know, picking up steam towards the end of 2021.
Yeah.
What's that like, man? Where are you right now, and how do you just deal with all of that emotion and navigating through that?
Well, I must say, I did not expect all of that to happen. I thought that I told everybody like, yo, the goal is to go number 1 on iTunes, but I didn't think it could happen.
Yeah.
I was just like, yo, let's try to go as far as we can, and just to see if I can even chart. I was expecting to chart like 100 or something.
Yeah.
But I knew it was gonna have some good streaming success. I saw that coming, but I didn't expect that. I didn't expect Go to Work to be played on the radio.
Yeah.
I didn't expect the song that I was making with the homies in the meantime, Blaze the Rebel and Soulless and Jay Wonder. I didn't expect that song to be put on TV. Yeah. It was just so much that I feel like I'm thankful to everybody that supported me. I don't know how I don't want to say I don't know how I got here. It was a lot of hard work, but like I'm so honored and gifted, like not gifted like talented, but like blessed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. Anybody, like, what was the moment for you where you felt like, you know what, I was able to collab with this person and like, oh shit. It was like, yo, I met this person touched my work, he kind of retouched on my work, like
Chris Rivers.
Really?
You know Chris Rivers?
Nah, I don't know who that is, man.
Alright, Chris Rivers, he's so much more than this, but he's Big Pun's son.
Okay.
So he's like lyrically incredible. He's the only person that I've heard that can rap like Pun. And if you like put him on a verse, like on a song with like some old like Pun's old stuff, he keep up with him.
Okay.
Like, and Pun is my 3rd favorite rapper.
Wow.
You know? So when I got on the song, no, not even got him, when I got him on the song, and out of respect, you know, like he could have been like, yo, it's $5,000 or whatever, because I had high respects for him. You know, I was a fan of his work and still am a fan of his work.
Right.
But he just like, nah, you nice. Out of respect, I'm gonna just, you know, send a verse in. That moment, I was like, bro, like, I'm really doing this shit, yo. Like, I'm not. I always wanted to do this.
Right.
I'm like, yo, I'm really living the dream. I had so much more appreciation for it.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I know that feeling, man. When you get to reach the milestone, that's interesting, man.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew how much that meant to me.
Okay, so just to continue to deep dive into that, you know, the Duo Litty part and listen to that, I think a lot of people, and with that project, I really liked it. The artwork, I seen the artwork with inside of it, the pamphlet. I forget what that's called. I think it's called like the book, the pamphlet. Yeah, what that's called, right?
It's a booklet.
Yeah, the booklet. Yeah, the booklet. I like the booklet. I like how you put the lyrics in there. I saw that you did that, and I'm like, that's really cool. So, a lot of people when they want to go about that whole process of creating music, it's not up to that high quality standard, right? They don't get that, and they don't get the packaging and etc.
They get the thin ass paper.
Yeah, it's like print this out on mama's printer. Like, how does that work, right? Is that expensive? Like, what is that like?
It's super expensive. It was almost inconvenient. I did it because I'm all about moments. You know what I'm saying? People are always gonna remember how it felt. Like, there's such an art behind taking the plastic off of the album and then opening it and looking at the booklet and seeing the CD and putting the CD in and like hearing it for the first time. Like, there's some magic behind that like nobody really talks about. Now albums like, oh, it's out, click link. Right. I get it, it's convenient, but it's like there's no process, there's no fun to that. There's times where like you will buy a bad album in FYE, not realizing it was a bad album, and just listen to it because you're like, well, I already paid for it, and then grow to like the album.
Right.
Yeah, but not that this is.
Nah.
But once again, it was about that experience.
So I'm curious. I want to kind of break it down. You know, I'm real technical. And when I want to know things, right? So as far as the artwork goes, right? How did that work? Did you have to reach out to someone, or did one of your fans just say, you know what, man, I love your work, Samad, man. Samad Savage, here you go. I made that for you, right?
There has been I think everybody that I work with is not necessarily a fan of me, but have heard of me and understand me and feel like my journey's gonna go far. So they either like don't charge me or charge me a lot less because they believe in me. Which that's like that thing that Kanye was talking about in the Drink Champs interview where he said he's done so much he can just go around the world and get free stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to see myself in life. I don't even gotta be a billionaire. I just want to be able to be of service so much to so many different people that I'm able to just sleep on anybody's couch, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm bad.
No, you good because that just made me think about like, you know, I don't want to digress, but it just talks about passion and happiness, and I think that's kind of one of the most important things when we're talking about music. Mm-hmm. I think that helps a lot more people than, you know, they think, because, you know, you can't lack the passion and the happiness when you're making music because you won't even get to the point of making your album. Exactly. Right? If you don't have the passion and the happiness in what you're doing, you're just gonna keep putting out that little floppy disk. Yeah.
And it don't matter like the passion. It don't matter what the passion is for. Some people are able to just continue off of the passion for money. Some people are able to continue off of the passion of love, and by that I mean fame.
Right.
Whatever you're passionate about. What I'm passionate about is I was gonna say touching people, but I feel like
nah, again, you can't.
But touching people's hearts. That's what I'm passionate about.
I feel you. I'm messing with you, man. But no, yeah, and I think that's interesting and dope, man. So just bring it all back, and I just wanted to digress. You know, when making that album and finding your happiness when making that album, putting it together, finding the artwork, you know, I don't want to ask them, was it expensive? I just don't want to come out and be like, it was pricey, was it expensive? Because I know a lot of people who want to kind of do what you did as far as creating the album, but they don't even know where to go as far as direction.
I would say
what? Budgeting, exactly.
Not even that, but like take us on the journey of completing the album.
Right, that's kind of where I want to go, is like, you know, like, what was it like? Because I know I have a lot of friends that's musicians. I know Nika makes music. I got a friend Love makes music. And, you know, there's plenty of times where I hear them actually talk. And I got my friend Brandon right there, also the cameraman that makes music. Mm-hmm. But there's plenty of times, you know, you hear people talk, and, you know, they had different processes in when they create the music. I'll be sitting with Neek, and, you know, Love will call in, and he's playing something raw that he just recorded on his phone, but you know what, he's going to take it to the studio and play. Nah, Love, my boy Love Mansui.
Oh.
Yeah, he's talking about taking it to the studio and working on it. So I just want to know the process. Can you take us through the process of just creating an album, like you said, man? And it doesn't have to be too detailed. It could be high level, but you can say, you know what? First, you got to sit your ass down, and you got to think and write your best tracks.
Well, I have something in my notes called album ideas.
Okay, let's go.
And I have, it's mostly just titles, because I put the track lists in there too. Mm-hmm. So it's dope to see just a title become a couple of songs, become unorganized songs, mm-hmm. become a track list.
Right.
So I guess there's that. That's like the drawing board for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of just make what I feel like the album needs. Once I figure out what I want to do with the album, where I'm trying to go,
mm-hmm.
I just fill in the blanks.
So when you make your track list, I know obviously not every song's gonna make the album.
Yeah.
Right? So is it just like when you make your track list, you make your song, and then when you're done with that, you look at it and say, okay, now it's time to sort through what I want?
I did that on my latest album.
Okay.
There's one song that didn't make the album.
Okay.
Actually, it technically did. I just dropped the NFT and that song's on that version.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, with Trust the Weird Kids, to go back to that for a second,
mm-hmm.
I drew a sentence, and then I put the track list for each word of that sentence. So it was like, trust the weird kids. They're on to something. Don't trust the bullies. They're scared. Society won't accept them. So be yourself.
That's fire.
Thank you.
That's fire. Low key, yeah, that's dope.
So when I did that album, I once again filled in the blanks. I had the sentence ready, but I was like, let me make a song for each word. What's the dopest thing I can make out of this song? You know?
Nah, that's pretty dope. I didn't even like realize that. That's kind of dope. That just took me back. So from New Jersey, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, grew up in Jersey your whole life?
Yes, pretty much. I lived in Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania for 2 years.
Okay.
But Jersey most of my life.
How I feel to be turned up in Jersey, man?
Man, it felt good. It felt good because living in Jersey, you know, a lot of people don't really respect you or love you until you're really on.
That's real.
So like, it's been years and years and years of nobody acknowledging anything I'm doing, and I'm like finally glowing. And you know, I'll be walking the streets and whatnot every once in a while, and there be people that walk up to me like, "Yo, I seen you do your thing," and it's just that part is really dope. And it also, like, I feel like I'm changing Jersey culture, not alone. It's a lot of artists who are doing this, but like the last generation, it was just like everything was so gate kept and whatnot. But like now, I'm really trying to like merge the worlds of everyone. You know what I'm saying? Before I was just collaborating with only like Newark, East Orange artists, and it's just like obviously that Essex area. But now I'm like really trying to work with everybody and like make Jersey, I don't want to say the new Atlanta, but like make Jersey like its own thing. That's
fire. So let me say, like, was that part of a strategy to get popping within your
it took some ego checking and pride swallowing to be able to come to that conclusion that I even wanted to do that. Because growing up, I was hated. There was a lot of people who talk shit.
Why?
Because it's just they see somebody trying and they're not trying.
That's real.
In their life, so they're jealous of that and want to tell you, "Hey, don't try like me."
I feel you.
But yeah, there was just so much of that, and that can make people a lot of bitter. I've seen people become really bitter off of that and just not want to do anything in life and be like, "Nah, fuck all y'all, fuck my hometown, da da." And I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna change this narrative. We don't gotta be like this.
Right.
We can do better.
Right. How you feeling about the rap scene right now, especially in Jersey?
It's beautiful.
I see it picking up, man.
Yeah, it's so many MCs, yo. Like there's so many different sounds. Yeah. Everything is so full and fruitful. Everybody's doing their own different thing, but we're at a point where Jersey's starting to have a sound too. Like there's things that we're learning from each other. I learned from J1 that I don't gotta rap fast all the time. I can just, you know, let my voice be present. I learned from Solus it's better to speak from the heart than from the mind. You know what I'm saying? I learned from Mac McCrae there's certain ways you can just sound cooler. And Mac McCrae, he said he learned, he got something in one of his songs on his latest EP from Good Night. And I'm like, bro, this is what I'm talking about. We're not in a time where like niggas just like, yo, he's jacking my style and he's copying me or anything like that. We're like, let's learn from each other and finally cultivate a sound for Jersey. You know what I'm saying? If you ask people outside of Jersey, what's the Jersey sound? They're gonna be like, the drill.
Yeah, the club, the Jersey club.
It's like, yo, that sound good. Don't get me wrong, but like the only thing that's really Jersey in that is the Jersey club shit. The drill shit is from New York,
right?
Or from the UK, if you be real.
Yes. Yeah.
But we cultivating the sound fine, and I think it's beautiful.
Nah, that's what's up. I like that too a lot, man. And I see you picking up steam. You picking up a lot of steam at the tail end of 2021.
Yeah.
You got the Revolt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You did your thing with the China earlier this year. You know, you're doing a lot going into 2020 at the end of 2021, man. Also on the Audio Mac, man, I could keep going on a couple of things that I saw that you accomplished. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
What's up with 2022?
2022, it's only time to go bigger. More music videos, more connections. I'm trying to use everything that I did in 2021 and eat off of that, like through relationships. I'm trying to develop relationships. I think that's the main focus for me. The more people I know, the more I can't fail.
Interesting. So speak on that a little bit, especially as being an unsigned artist, especially from New Jersey. You know, you coming up and picking all the steam up. How do you find yourself meeting new people within the industry? And working with those relationships without a manager, without having management. Is it difficult?
It's been said before, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Real.
And with each day, like I know I be getting social anxiety. As you saw, like, I mean, if we're being raw and authentic with the camera and everything, like who I am right now isn't who I was when I walked through that door.
Yeah.
It takes a little time to open up and whatnot. And back then it took even way longer. Another thing that Blaze the Rebel taught me, this is a life lesson. Not even like some rap shit. This is a life lesson. He told me you kind of just gotta go for it and be unafraid. You gotta just go. Sometimes, even when you feel like not going, you gotta just go. And doing that has got me most of my opportunities now I think about it. I don't even know if Joe Budden noticed, but he lived in my town at one point.
Really?
And I was selling tickets to the Claire concert, with the biggest concert by an independent artist in Montclair, New Jersey.
You did that. You set that up.
Yeah. And I called up friends like, yo, let's like go out and sell these tickets door to door, old school, fuck it.
Yeah.
And they was like, nah, I'm tired today. And I was like, all right, this day happens to be the day that I go to his house, didn't know it was his house. Nobody answers. I'm like, all right, fuck it, go to the next door. I'm talking like, hey, you want to come to this concert? You know, independent artists, trying to promote peace, love, positivity, and supporting independent artists and all that. And this guy is like, no, I would love to, but I'm going to be out of town that day. But you know who may want to go? And I'm like, who? He's like, Joe Budden. He lives next door. And I'm like,
Word.
But I was like, you know what? Just in case, I'm gonna drop my EP in his mailbox. Then his boy, and I'm not condoning this. I'm not saying to do this. I could have died in this situation, but his homie, his name is escaping me. Ryan guy. He hits me up like, yo, do you know whose house that was? I still don't really know if it's Joe Budden's house, so I'm like, no, I don't know.
Right.
And he's like, yo, just this EP was pretty good. Just come by the house. I was like, all right. I come by the house. I'm walking down the driveway. I'm thinking like, yo, this could be Joe Budden, or I could be like, I'm about to get robbed, and I just don't know.
Right. You gotta take that walk of faith though.
But yeah, that was one of those moments I just said, fuck it, I gotta just go.
Right.
I walk, and I see the back of a head that just like it's funny. It sounds mad like sus, but like. Nobody has a back of the head that looked like Joe Budden's back of his head. Like he has like a specific back of the head. And when I saw it, I'm like, bro, that's Joe. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting down. I'm trying to like keep it chill and stuff. Like not trying to be starstruck, but like, bro, like Joe Budden's album was the first album that I ever had.
Really?
I think my stepmother, Amina, peace and love to her, just gave me the CD. It was just like, yeah, I've done listening to it. I listened to it a lot. And I was like, all right, cool. And I played that shit all the time. Like, but my older brother, crazy fan of it. I'm like getting sidetracked.
No, you're good.
Anyhow, there was that moment. How I got on Audio Mac, once again, not saying people should do this, but I said, fuck it, we going old school again. I just went to all of the buildings in New York of every place. I went to SoundCloud, Audio Mac, Pandora, and whatnot. Audio Mac it just happened to be a situation that just worked perfectly, and everybody was cool there.
Wow.
So there's so many.
Revolt. How did you get the Revolt?
Revolt. That wasn't me. That was actually Blaze.
Okay.
It was the video for Humble Beginnings, which is his track. I produced it and rapped on it and engineered it, but it was his track.
It's crazy.
And it's on that amazing album, Sanford. Go get that if you're listening. Some guy, he just knew somebody from Revolt, and they just happened to see it, and they was like, yo, send this to me.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he got that relationship by just saying, fuck it, I gotta just go.
Right. Right. So, I mean, I know we talked earlier, we said the money's on the producer side, more so on the producer side, not on the rapper side. I know you do a little bit of both, and you dabble in both. Mm-hmm. You know, even before we talk about being a rapper, it's fine as, you know, being on the producer side, right? And finding your sound and finding your ear and finding those notes. I mean, I can open up Fruity Loops right now and like I'll probably make something that sounds like somebody kicking a tree. I don't know. It won't be too impressive, but how were you able to like?
Despite the joke, that's actually a difficult sound.
I know. I mean, but like that's how bad like you know it would probably be as my ear goes. But like now you're making beats. Your beats are fucking sick. Like,
Thank you.
Like. How does that happen? Like, how does that even?
Years and years. As I said, when I was 8 years old, that's when Auntie Halima got FL for my older brother, and since then I was just learning. Truth be told, though, there's some people who like used to ask me for advice on production that are way beyond me. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of Chuck Sutton. Mm-hmm. This man is incredible. Like, anytime I hear his beats, I'm like, there's still so much for me to learn. And in high school, he was just starting out. There was a point where he would like play like beats that were like okay, and we were like freestyling in the hallways and stuff. But I never would have thought if he would have kept his head down and focused and just went, that he would be where he's at now. This man has a song on Insecure right now.
Nice.
Like, I'm so proud of him. Sidetrack again, my bad. This is ADHD in real time.
Nah, you good, man. You good, man. It's just like, you know, we talked about, you know, working with someone and being wild. We talked about, you know, a little bit about the behind the scenes paperwork. Unless you know you want to talk about how that works a little bit, like the behind the scenes paperwork, or if you had to go through that yet, right?
I would say don't don't trust anybody, but also don't work with anybody that you don't trust.
Okay.
So like, if you fail at doing something paperwork wise, you don't copyright it the way that you want to, you mess up. Make sure you're in a situation where you're working with somebody that's like, oh, cool, you forgot to do this? All right, let's update the paperwork. Not somebody who's just like, oh, nah, I want this much now since we're doing this now and you on and like, nah, like, I'm not around anybody like that. I don't try to work with anybody like that. So it's all love.
All right, so coming into 2022, man, I know we said we got bigger and better. Anything you can speak on? Anything we expected to see? I know you just recently dropped the NFT.
Yeah.
All right. I know you kind of tying that into it, and making it work. But just going into 2022, you know, anything we can expect to see coming from you, coming out of your direction?
I don't want to say too much.
No, it's cool.
but let me think of what I can say.
Okay.
I can say you could expect a lot more freestyle. The album is done. It's out, so I don't have anything to do but just rap for y'all. Expect, like, I know I said I was done with features, but like, it's fun. I love making music with people. Collaborating is just like, that's my shit, yo. So don't expect too many collaborations. I'm not going to thin my brand out or anything like that, but expect collaborations. Expect me to be in bigger and better rooms, you know. Expect me to continue to develop relationships and to use that just go attitude. Just go attitude.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, you see how music engineers
So like you said, we talked about the album. Do we have any concerts coming up, any performances we can come check you out? Anything we can reach out?
When is this interview dropping?
Well, it's like March.
Oh, nah.
Yeah.
there's no show so far.
Okay. Well, have you been in the park? Have you been really big on concerts prior to your Duo Litty album and whatnot?
I love doing concerts.
Okay.
And then COVID came, and that messed up everything. No, it's you know, it's like you never expect these things. What I can say though is when COVID came, I made more money than I ever made in my career. That
off of streaming,
streaming and other things in 2020, and it wasn't from a PPP loan. But yeah, so that really fucked up everything performing. I still want to perform way more often. I want to be everywhere. I love performing. That's my favorite part of this whole thing.
Right.
But that slowed it down. I got 2 concerts coming up January, but this is coming out later.
Okay.
But I do plan on traveling a lot more and doing a lot more concerts as soon as Omarion stop wilding. Hopefully that's a dead joke by the time this come out.
Right. No, we can knock on some wood. All right. Nah, that's dope, man. So I'm gonna be checking you out. I'm gonna see you around, man, on IG, and I'm gonna see you around, and I know I'm gonna hear you around for sure.
Yeah, I hope to do a part 2 to this. You know, I'm just like sitting here decked out in like Prada jacket and like
say that,
and just a big ass chain, just completely change and be like, nah, I don't agree with anything I said before. Money is everything.
Hell yeah.
I'm joking. I don't want
I was gonna say I want my Savage Squad chain too, man. Don't leave me out, man. Don't leave me out. Before you go, man, I want to play a game with you. It's called The Choice Is Yours. Just basically ask you, you know, if we had to do a versus against these artists, man, who would you pick? You can explain why if you feel fit, but if you just feel like you're standing on your decision, you can stand on your decision.
Right,
Drake or Kanye?
I'm gonna say Kanye. You know what?
More creative?
Because I was out there in LA at the Hoover concert, and man, I mean, Drake didn't play his classics or anything like that, but like Kanye kind of like he stunted, he wild.
Yeah, it's the passion for you.
Yeah.
For Kanye, yeah. Tupac or Biggie?
Pac, his impact is just incredible. Pac got way more songs that you can cry to.
Yeah, lyrically.
Yeah, he can really touch the people.
Kendrick or Cole?
It really depends on the list.
Okay.
It really depends on the list. Like I want to say Kendrick, but that's like if they're rapping at each other.
Right.
But once, what's the name of that track? Once No More Role Models come on,
yeah,
I don't know exactly what Kendrick's gonna play. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Really?
Cole got them like them ones that like everybody sings together, and like I know Kendrick sells more and he's better lyrically,
right?
And he has like more sounds, and in my opinion I don't want to say makes better albums because Cole got something that's better than, but J. Cole on the verses though,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You think he gonna take the crowd? Yeah, you got those Kendrick crazies who might just be like, oh, the lyrics, but I see what you mean. After I thought about it, J. Cole could kind of get the crowd to bop and bring everybody together. Kendrick probably gonna bump out and pull out King Kunta. You know what I mean? And that song
it's fire, but it's not,
yeah.
like it's not doing nothing with. I think All Right would be the only song that could do something with No More Role Model. Yeah. And that's still not No More Role Models. You know?
Yeah, okay. So next we're gonna go Lil Wayne and Jay-Z.
Hov.
Obvious.
And it's not like it's people. And you know what? I think it's because people's underestimating Hov on the internet that I'm like so like Hov. It gotta be Hov.
Right.
Wayne could definitely win. It depends on what Wayne plays, but people really forget about what Hov has done.
Right.
Like you can't have Wayne without Hov.
Right, and that's true. Because Wayne kind of made his lane too. Like he kind of had the skateboard. Like he brought that in, and Jay-Z did the business aspect. Wayne was the skateboard rock star.
Yeah,
that was cool, man. That was huge for hip hop. Lil Wayne kind of breaking into that whole realm.
But what is like Wayne gonna do when the Hov play Lost Ones? I know that's not a versus song, but
yeah, Lost One. Yeah. Shit. I don't listen. Sing it? You think that?
No.
I'm not going, right? I feel it. So next one, Nicki or Cardi?
More recently, Cardi. But they did a versus. Nicki all the way. Yeah. Nicki is tearing Cardi apart. Yeah. And that's no disrespect to Cardi. It's just that Cardi only got one album out. That's like unfair. Right. Nicki got album on top of album on top of album and got a fire ass single for every single one of those albums. You know.
Mixtape catalog.
Mixtape catalog.
I agree. I'm with you.
Who make a wait, what she say? Wait, mixtape. Which
number.
Bitch you know made $1 million off a mixtape? Yeah.
Oh man, Nicki, man, she's special.
People underestimate how much she's inspired me too.
Yo, she's special, really?
Yeah, really. Yeah, she inspired a lot of my flows.
Yeah. Okay. So next, Jeezy or Gucci? Obviously.
Yo, I mean, what you gonna say when you say obvious?
It's crazy because now I'm thinking, I'm like, we're gonna get into this debate because I can understand both sides, but I would just have to say, like, I think Jeezy has done more on a big stage.
Jeezy's my pick.
Jeezy, but Gucci has more. His catalog is just massive.
I love Gucci. Don't get me wrong, but Jeezy is different, bro. Recession is my favorite trap album of all time.
Yeah, we talk.
He could have. I feel like he messed up a little bit on the song choices and the actual verses.
Yeah.
If he would have just picked every song from I think his first album was called Snowman.
Yeah, Motivation 108, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. The first album and Recession.
Yeah.
If you would have just stayed in those two albums, ain't no way anybody could really mess with him.
Yeah, nah, man, that was a good ass verses, man. That was probably one of the better ones I've seen.
Yeah.
Gucci that took it to the left. He tried to get violent. That's the energy we don't need. That's the energy we don't need in hip hop.
I mean, it's like I'm happy to see it because there was nothing that happened after that.
Right.
But at the time when it happened, I'm just like,
something about to happen. Yeah. Nah, so producing, because I know you produce too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a tough one. Pharrell, Kanye.
It's not a tough one. Nah, it is a tough one.
Nah, I know. Honestly, I had to think about it though, because you gotta take it. Pharrell had the whole Star Trek era.
Yeah, Pharrell had Kanye had an era too. But Kanye's had multiple eras.
Okay.
But the only difference is Pharrell only needs Hugo. Kanye, a lot of his like legendary beats are collaborations. Power isn't Kanye alone. Devil in a Red Dress is all Bink and my gosh, what's Mike Dean? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like Kanye's greatest beats isn't all Kanye. So I think that's why I'm gonna say Pharrell.
That's crazy.
And that's no disrespect to Ye.
No, I like that because a lot of people would have just been on Ye trend. Ye did Power, but you know what, man? Obviously, we got a musician in front of us, so I expected you to be able to pick that up.
But let's not forget Kanye's first 3 albums, where he did do most of the production. He's at least like top 3 producers of all time. No doubt about it. I think for me, it's Kanye, Pharrell, Timbaland.
Okay.
No necessary order. It changes.
What's your favorite Ye album?
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
That's everybody. Everybody go there. I think it's across the board.
I don't even know if it's my favorite. It's the best.
Yeah.
My favorite may be Late Registration.
I respect it. I respect it. Wow, this is a good one. Busta or Missy?
In a versus.
Busta or Missy?
Yo, Busta. And that's no disrespect to Missy. But Busta, it's like Missy is an amazing entertainer,
Yes.
a great songwriter when it comes to R&B songs. But when it comes to like just rapping, that's one element that she don't have that she can compete with Bus.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree, because Bus could do the entertainer too, if you remember.
Yeah. He could do all the entertaining, and he's a good songwriter. He got some R&B hits, but when it comes to just straight rapping, Missy don't gotta look at me now.
Right.
And although I feel like there was some fluff in that verse.
Yeah.
He was kind of just filling in words at one point, but the moment that he created with that, Missy don't got that.
Yeah. Jim Jones or Cam?
Cam is my favorite, but I'm gonna say Jim Jones.
I know why.
Cause Jim Jones got anthems.
Yeah.
And if you look at Jim Jones' catalog today versus Cam's catalog today,
Yeah.
Jim Jones has been rapping. Like he on some like top 5 dead or alive type shit.
Still though, that's the crazy part. Still. Meg Thee Stallion or Lotto?
Lotto.
Well, I mean, I thought you were gonna say Meg.
Wait, hold on, because I don't want to miss the opportunity to put on another young black
She fire?
artist that's late.
Yeah.
Pap Chanel. She's fire. Out of all of the people who coming up in that sound, y'all gotta listen to Pap Chanel. She's incredible
Pap
with that
Chanel?
type of music.
Good check. Yeah, definitely check her out, man. Bad Boys of Death Row. That's an error.
I'm gonna have to go with Death Row because everybody could rap on the Bad Boy side.
True.
But there's only like one big. You know what I'm saying? Death Row at one point. Snoop, Dr. Dre,
Yeah, you got it.
Tupac. Like these are all like, you know.
I just shut the whole conversation down. Playboy Cardi or Lil Uzi?
Uzi.
Okay.
Cause he be saying shit sometimes.
Uzi, yeah.
He be having bars every once in a while. I'm like, yo, alright.
I like Cardi, man. I don't even want to talk about it, but I like Cardi, man. I'm a big Cardi fan, but Uzi been killing it a lot longer for me. Chris Brown or Usher?
Oh, dude. Yo, you know what's crazy? Anybody ever say you look a little bit like Usher?
That's funny as shit. That's funny as shit. That's funny
I
as
didn't
shit.
even realize that until you said the name.
These niggas, you know what I mean?
Everybody cracking up behind the camera.
I know, right? Everybody behind the camera laughing at me, man. It's cool, man.
Nah. But oh, they say that all the time.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
What I mean-
Floyd, I get Floyd, that shit. They have, yeah.
You definitely look a little bit like.
Yeah. I take the punches, man. They come with the territory.
But nah, you said Usher or Chris Brown?
That's a hard one, right?
It would be if Chris Brown came first, or if Chris Brown was from the same era, it would be hard. But there is no Chris Brown without Usher. Not only that, Usher's, in my opinion, and there's no disrespect to Chris Brown, but in my opinion, Usher's more recent albums are better than Chris Brown's more recent albums.
Starting from when?
What do you mean?
Like what? I'm just curious. Like from like, what was the last Chris Brown album you say like, yo, this shit was? Because I would have to say it's been a while for me. I like Fame. And that was the last.
Yeah,
that was the last album. I'm like, Chris Brown ate this. Like,
yeah, Fame was definitely. X was pretty good too, but Fame was the one that was just like, yo, this man is just going off. It don't make no damn sense.
It's been a while.
But yeah, Usher is dope, man. He hasn't had a bad album. Now he hasn't had another Confessions. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But he hasn't had a bad album.
I agree.
There's that one where he's like standing in front of a car. It's like black and red text.
Here I stand.
Here I stand.
Yeah.
Actually, I would say Here I Stand is competing with Confessions in retrospect. I love that album.
Same.
Yeah.
Same big on that one. I like that album. That's definitely low key. That's in my catalog. That Moving Mountain. He got Trade and Play. Ooh, that album. That's fire. That's fire.
Yo, how'd you put that together?
But that.
No.
Oh yeah, you funny as shit. I was like, wait, what? So I got one more for you. Lil Baby or Lil Durk?
This is unfair because I haven't really gotten into Lil Durk's catalog like that.
What? That's
I'll be listening every once in a while, but I haven't like stayed for an entire album, and that's just ignorance.
Is it not your
I don't
feel?
know if it's not my feel. It just never happened.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I might listen to it too. What album do you select? Do you suggest on the way home?
Shit, man. I like his OTF album, the Only Family album. Shit, man, why am I drawing a blank, man?
I mean, I'm gonna bump the OTF album on the way home.
I bumped so many of his albums, man. It's just drawing a blank on his catalog right now.
I'm not gonna lie, like I was messing with Dirt heavy, like in the real drill era. You know what I'm saying? I was heavy on Bibby, I was heavy on Dirt, and I was heavy on G Herbo.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, that back then I was super big fan. Then I fell off, and then I haven't like been keeping up since. And I know he's been way bigger than he was back then.
You gotta check out. It's called Sign to the Streets. That's what it is.
Sign to the Street.
I'm like, yo, man, I'm the biggest Dirt fan. I know. As soon as I get out of here, nigga, like, you fool.
Yeah.
But yeah, nah, big on Dirt. Okay, yeah, man. I kind of just want to have a conversation now, man. Just talk music because I like talking music sometimes, man. And I like talking influence and like, you know, people who kind of influence the rap game, you know, in a major way. And if you kind of had to put your top 5 together off of that just alone, of influence of people who made an impact on the industry, how would you say that? Because we've seen different eras of different rappers changing the whole trajectory of hip hop.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's one of them. I think Wayne definitely one of them. Give Drake his respect. Drake definitely one of them. So, and Pharrell, like,
you know what I'm thinking right now?
Yeah.
Who inspired him? So, like, are we talking producers or rappers, or can we do two separate?
That's so funny. I would have to say we could do 2 separate ones.
Okay.
Because I feel like some people play in both realms.
Okay.
Right? Like, Ye could be in both realms. Pharrell, he can't be in both realms, right? I like Pharrell. You think,
dude, you heard any of the Nerd albums?
I heard some of them.
Nah, you gotta listen. Like, listen. Which, cause how old are you now? If you don't
27.
Mind? 27. All right, so music's age, things change. Our ears are more palatable now. You know what I'm saying? You know how you couldn't really eat certain foods when you was younger, but now it's be the best shit in the world.
Yeah.
Listen to the one with the red gorilla on the cover.
Okay.
And listen to the most recent one. I know the cover art was like, it was like yellow and like a girl with her tongue out. Yeah. That one is so good, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nah, it's cool. Nah, I gotta check that out. I was just thinking like if you had to measure it, right?
Yeah. I would say
I guess we can do a top 3 to make it easier if you don't want.
No, I could do 5.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think like that didn't just inspire me. Although this person's in my top 5, I'm gonna say Big Daddy Kane.
Wow.
All it is, he started bling without making the word bling. Lil Wayne said bling bling first.
Right.
But he like really embodied the superstar lifestyle. He was the first rapper to be in these R&B and in all these pop rooms and stuff like that. He did the photo shoot with Madonna. In retrospect, maybe not been the best thing, but he did all of that and whatnot. Kanye.
Okay.
Cause you can't be an artist today without being influenced by Kanye.
Right.
It's impossible. Even if you don't like him, your favorite artist was inspired by Kanye.
Right.
Ice Cube.
Producer or rapper we talking right now?
I was talking about rapping.
Ice Cube? Oh yeah, I'm listening. I'm just like, you said Ice Cube. Okay, go ahead.
Ice Cube, because his aggression, how much he wrote for almost everyone in NWA and whatnot, changed the sound. It made everybody want to be against the rap, you know?
Okay.
Migos because everybody rapping like them still.
That's true.
Still, we all still using the flow. We all still doing that. And Ho.
Right. I mean, by default, right? Like you can't.
He was the leader on everything. I'm listening to albums from like 2005.
Yeah.
And this man was talking about Birkin bags back then.
Wow.
He was talking about Yves Saint Laurent back then.
Wow.
Like
talking different, yo. He talk dirty. He talk different, yo. All right, nah, that's cool, man.
You want a producer still?
Yeah, I do want producers, but I'm asking you don't think Drake fit in on that list? You don't think he changed the whole way, that whole emotional? Because like he got people in touch with like the whole emotional side.
See, I don't want to say Drake because I feel like that's more credited to Kid Cudi. And that's no offense to Drake or anything like that, but when Kid Cudi came out with Day and Night, that changed the whole landscape. Everybody wanted to be like singing about their emotions and different things. Like it flipped what you thought rap was on its head.
Right.
But that's no disrespect to Drake. Drake is in that top 10 list if we're talking about influential artists of all time though.
Word.
Sure.
Let's get the producer side going then.
Timbaland, for sure.
Respect.
There's so many people trying to take Timbaland's style, the Timbaland beats. Pharrell.
Okay.
Because it wouldn't be Tyler the Creator without Pharrell. Kanye once again, because once he was doing the soul samples, everybody wanted to do the soul samples. The RZA. The RZA. He made what everyone considers boom bap today. He started it. And Rick Rubin. Yeah.
Okay. I had a feeling it was either gonna be like somewhere around him, Jay Dilla. I thought you were gonna tap into Jay, because I know I hear your music. And I'm like, you probably fuck with Jay Dilla.
Yeah, Jay Dilla is a very important person there.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking about influence. Some people know, some people don't know.
Yeah.
Now, whether you know or not, Jay Dilla is one of the best producers of all time.
Yeah.
But if you don't know, you don't know. We're just talking about influence and creating like the biggest brand and whatnot out of your music and being at the forefront of it. Yeah, I feel like that's what the list I said. Yeah.
So, one day I'm gonna be asking somebody, and then I'm gonna be mentioning your name.
Praying on it. Definitely want to have my own era,
man.
Yeah,
for sure. It's on the way, man. I really enjoyed speaking with you today, man. I feel like once we got everything set up, man.
Look how I'm sitting now. I started off like this, and now I'm like macking. So like I appreciate you, easing any kind of worries that I had about this. This has been very pleasant. I appreciate this platform, and this has been fun. I appreciate it.
Good, man. I'm definitely gonna see you again, man. Hopefully we can run this interview back again. I'm getting comfortable too now, man. You hear it in my tone, my voice, man. That's all gone. We might have to run it the third take, but no. I'm messing around, man. Again, man, thank you for coming, man. 361 Commission, Brick by Brick behind the creative series. Samad Savage. Thank you.
Screw with it.